What's up, guys? I am Laura from Reading in Bed, and it's November something. I don't know. I'm off work and the kids are off school, so it's all a bit of a blur. But it is November, so we are going to talk about some nonfiction. Now, November can also mean novellas, and I have been reading novellas, but that seems to be more of a book blog thing, so I will maybe save that for the blog. So, what I want to talk about first is some of the nonfiction reading that I've been doing that are not books, and this is not exactly a revolutionary thing to talk about. I recall an Ariel Bissett video about this, not in the context of nonfiction, but just in the context of tracking reading that doesn't happen within books. So that could be anything from magazine articles, online articles, tweets, maybe if you want to go that far. I don't think I do, even with the 280 characters. So what I started doing this month is I started keeping track. I've got a little monthly spread in my bullet journal here. I'll maybe not show you that one because it's probably got some embarrassing health stuff, but this one here I've been using to keep track of my reading that isn't encompassed in just my reading log. And it's, you know, I don't exactly have a list of criteria for what gets included there. Like I said, I'm not counting a tweet or a Facebook post, and I'm not counting every blog post I read either. It's sort of like if it's substantial enough that I feel it should go here, then it goes. I know that's not very precise. It's like, and I'll know it when I see it, sort of thing. If I took something away from it, I guess, like not necessarily learn something, but if there's something I'll remember or maybe use later when I'm writing something. So I thought I would just share a bit. So I actually haven't tracked anything since November 9th, even though I need to catch up a little bit. But just to give you an idea of what kind of things I've been putting in here. Now, a few of them are from Canadian Notes and Queries. This is their 100th issue. Very nice with the fireworks. So I've already noted a couple of reviews that came out of here, book reviews. And I did read one so far, other article in here, which was about the new Canadian Library, which was a set of books. I think they're mostly out of print now. It was the way a lot of people read their CanLit, I think back in like the 80s and 90s. So I read that. Now, apart from that, oh yes, I also count it, and I don't have it close to me, but I read an introduction to my edition of The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy, and so this is where you could draw that line. This was a really hefty introduction. It was like more than 50 pages. So I said, yeah, I'm going to count it in here. Now, if I had read, say, a preface or a foreword to a book and it was like maybe 15 pages long, maybe I wouldn't count it as part of this nonfiction reading log. But yeah, this was a substantial introduction. It was also a little sexist and it took a very positive view of the main character, which I didn't really take. I won't get too much into that. Here's a blog post that I noted, an interview with Daniel Green that appeared on Biblioclept, which is a real old school book blogger. So I'll link all these too, the ones that actually exist online. Oh yes, and then Jonathan Franzen had a new essay in The Guardian, so obviously I read that. And obviously, being a Franzen essay, it was long. It was supposed to be about the first year under Trump, but it ended up being about bird watching because it's Jonathan Franzen. That seems to happen a lot. The one thing that was so funny in here, he talks about being a smoker and hiding it from his parents, like even when he was an adult, and then just makes this offhand comment about like, oh yeah, I mean, I've quit smoking, but I'm still sitting here writing this essay with nicotine coursing through my veins or something. So like, either Franzen vapes or he's addicted to nicotine gum, and I'm not sure which one I think is more amusing. Let's see, and then some more CNQ reviews. I made a few notes about like each one that I read. There was an interesting review in here again of Fugue States by Pasha Mella, which it was a negative review, but it was sort of like, you know, this was bad, but maybe the author meant for it to be bad. So that was kind of interesting. And then there was a review of a book called Deep Saltwater, which had environmental themes. So it went really well with the Franzen essay because, again, even though it was supposed to be about Trump, it was really about environmentalism and birds. Let's see. I read about pirated ebooks. This was also in The Guardian. That's always fascinating to me, like just the lengths people will go to get these pirated PDFs and stuff of books. And it's like, do you guys know about the library? Or, anyways. What else? What else? I read a really, Book Forum is another one where I read a lot of longer reviews. So I read one of The Idiot, which was quite good. And then one from LitHub that was interesting. It was a review of the autobiography of Gucci Mane, who, like, I barely know who that is, but that book has been brought to my attention because one of my favorite non-book bloggers recommended it to me, and then I saw Roxane Gay gave it a positive review on Goodreads, so I'm really interested. And this review was positive, but the whole premise of the review was this is not just another, celebrity memoir with no substance to it. This is good. This has substance. The writing is poetic, etc. But then it didn't really give any examples of how that's true. Like, it didn't have any quotes. It just sort of said, oh yeah, here's all these crappy celebrity memoirs, and this isn't that. But then it didn't back that up in any way. I'm still gonna read it. I'm like number 9 in line at the library. I know nothing about the guy. I was looking up trap music on Wikipedia yesterday because that's like where I'm at with my life in preparation. But anyway, so yeah, that is my reading log. So my log of reading, which is nonfiction, but is not in books. And it's actually fun. I mean, I read this kind of stuff anyway, but logging it is forcing me to prioritize it. If I'm ending the day and I'm like, oh geez, all I've read is like a bunch of top 10 whatever blog posts and a bunch of crappy tweets, I might force myself to go and seek out something a little more substantial, and that can't be a bad thing. So tell me, do you read this kind of lengthier book reviews and articles? Do you count them as part of your nonfiction reading? And if so, how do you keep track of them? Thanks for watching.